Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we'll be talking about the 4 categories of income that exists, and after watching this video you'll get to realize in which category you lie and whether in order to fulfill your life aspirations and goals you need to make a change or a shift from your present category to another one. So let's get started. Now, the 4 categories that I talked about is referred to as the cash flow quadrant and is invented by an American businessman and author named Robert Kiyosaki. He also has 2 books regarding the same called The Rich Dad Poor Dad and The Cash Flow Quadrant. Now this quadrant has 4 sections, and we all fall in any one of these 4 sections when it comes to earning our income. So number 1 is the employees, number 2 is the self-employed, number 3 is business, number 4 is investor. People in the E quadrant or the employee quadrant are the ones who work for any particular company or firm. So they are the people who are employees, for example the ones who have a 9 to 5. Majority of the people, I would say, belong to this category. Moving on to the next one, which is the S category or the small business section of the quadrant. Now the people involved here have businesses, but the scale or magnitude of that business is not that big. To give examples, I would say people who have small shops, for example grocery shop owners or vegetable vendors, or even I would say people who have their own practices, for example lawyers, doctors, or accountants, for example cost accountants or chartered accountants. They have their own practice, so they all belong to the S quadrant. Now a critical feature of the S quadrant is the functioning or the existence of the business is entirely dependent upon the involvement of the owner. So if the owner does not go to his or her shop or to his or her office for even 1 week, the business would completely cease to exist. So you might even have employees working under you, but still if you cannot go to your office and your business stops functioning, then your business is a small business and it belongs to this quadrant. So that is a critical feature of a business that belongs to this quadrant. Now moving on to the right side of the quadrant, we first have the B section or the business section. Now the people who belong here have developed some kind of a large business or have developed some kind of assets which keeps on earning money for them in the years to come without them required to getting much involved in it. So let me give you some examples so that you can get an idea as to who are the people who belong here. So for example, if you have a very large business, or if you have developed a system in place wherein you are not required to go to your office on a daily basis, but still the system would keep functioning and would keep earning money for you, then you have created an asset wherein you are not required to get involved and it is still making money for you. So to give some other examples, for example, if you write a book, or if you create videos online, or if you have a blog or a website of your own, or if you have created an application or an app, these things require a one-time effort in the beginning when you are creating them, and after that initial effort they would keep earning money for you in the years to come, but you do not need to get involved in them. So you do not need to basically do any work, but they would still keep earning money for you. So this is one of the basic features, I would say, of this category, that is, involvement of the owner is not required and it would substantially keep earning money for you in years and years to come. So this is the B section. Moving on to the last or the 4th section of the quadrant, we have the investment section. So here basically whatever income you're generating from any one of these other 3 sections, you invest the same, and if you are able to do that in the right places, your money keeps growing over a period of time. So your money makes money for you if you do that in the right way, and then you can fall in this section. So to give an example, it would be if you invest in equities or mutual funds or in any one of the right places where your money keeps growing over the years, you are doing it right and you fall in this section. Now there is an important characteristic to notice between the right side and the left side of the quadrant. On the left hand side, we are trading our time against money. The income that we earn is directly proportionate to the time that we are giving, and this kind of an income is what we would call a time-based income. Whereas on the right side, the income that we earn is based on assets that we develop, and this kind of an income is called as an asset-based income. Now the problem with the time-based income is, since your income here is completely dependent on the time that you are giving to the work, and you can only practically give around 17 to 18 hours a day to your work, your income would definitely stop growing after a certain period of time. That is, it would plateau after a certain point of time, because you cannot infinitely keep giving time to your work. But the beauty of an asset-based income is, after you have successfully developed an asset, the income that you generate from that asset is disproportionate to the time or effort that you are giving. So basically, irrespective of the time that you give to that particular asset, it would keep earning money for you. And if the quality of that asset is very good, the income that you would get from that would be substantially more than what you would get from a time-based income. So basically, you're earning more than what you would in a time-based income, and also you're not giving that much time or effort in order to earn that income. So that's great, right? So that is one of the beauties of an asset-based income. Now, there is a quote by Gary Vaynerchuk, and which is one of my favorite quotes, which says that how you make your money is more important than how much you make. And I feel this is the main takeaway of the cash flow quadrant. We should not decide on any section of the quadrant based on how much money that can give us. That is important, yes, but what is more important is how we are earning that money. For example, when we are on the left hand side of the quadrant, no matter how much money we earn, constantly throughout our entire life, we always have both our hands in the game. So we always have to stay involved in the work that we are doing for our entire life. So you barely have time for your family, or to take a vacation, or to fully enjoy the money that you are working so hard for. So basically, you are working for money here. But when you are on the right hand side of the quadrant, you are not working for money, but on the other hand, money is working for you. Now, I do not want to blindly prescribe everyone to shift over from the left hand side to the right hand side of the quadrant, despite its many advantages, because I do realize that everyone is different and there is no standardized solution for everyone. But the question which you need to ask yourself is, the situation where you are presently in, or the section where you are currently in, whether that's good enough for you to meet the goals and aspirations that you have in your life. If not, you know where you belong now, and you know where you need to be in order to meet those goals and aspirations. So make that move. That is very important. And it is also not compulsory for you to completely shift over from the left hand side to the right hand side. If you want to, you can start by transitioning or making combinations of various sections. For example, to start off, and the one which is the easiest, you can combine the E section and the I section. That is, if you're an employee, or even if you are self-employed, you can make good investments. So by that, you're combining E or S with I. Or you can even start off by combining E with B. For example, you start a YouTube channel, or you start writing a book, or you start a website. You can do that while you are still working. So you can gradually make the shift if you decide to move on to the right hand side of the quadrant. You can also do that if you want. And if you have some savings and you're hating your job, you can kick your job away or bid your job goodbye and take some chances on the right hand side and see how it works out. It's totally up to you. I personally want to completely lie on the right hand side of the quadrant, and that is my objective with this YouTube channel or my website or the investments that I have started making or all the future plans that I have in my mind. All of them are in alignment with getting strong in the B and the I section. And hopefully I'm able to do that in the next 5 to 6 years. So let's see. And in case you're willing to make that shift to the right hand side of the quadrant, stay tuned for my next video where I'll be talking about the mindset that you need to have if you want to make that shift to the right hand side. Because let's face it, if you do not have the right mindset, you might have 1 crore rupees in your bank account, or even Robert Kiyosaki himself may come down to give you advice. Nothing will work for you if you're not sorted here. It might sound boring, it might sound cliche, but that is the absolute truth. If you have enjoyed this video and are willing to start your journey in the I section of the quadrant, I have made a series for that where I talk about the where, how and why of investment. You can check it out somewhere around here. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. See you in the next one. Take care and bye-bye.